League Soccer. On Sunday, Man City plays Leicester City at 8:30 a.m., followed by Fulham playing Bournemouth at 9 a.m. On Monday, Ipswich Town will take on Chelsea at 1:45 p.m. Then to cap off the Monday action, Man United will play Newcastle at 2 p.m. You can catch all these matches and more at the McKinney's Irish Pub, your headquarters in Lincoln for English Premier League Soccer at A&P.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today. Nebraska's Christmas Light Show is back and bigger than ever. The Magical Lights of Lincoln Christmas Show runs from Black Friday through New Year's Eve at Sandhills Global Event Center. Bring the family for a show they'll never forget, featuring over 1.5 million lights. Cost is $25 per vehicle from Monday through Thursday, $30 on Friday and Saturday, and also $30 on Christmas Eve and Day. Purchase your tickets online today at ChristmasLightsInLincoln.com and get ready to experience a drive-through light show like you've never seen before.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red.
Raising little ones is a big job, and you do your best to give them a good start every day. That means making sure they're well cared for while you're apart. You work hard, but it's not always easy to make ends meet. There may be help. Find out if you qualify for Nebraska's Child Care Tax Credit for working parents. You could be eligible for a credit of up to $2,000 per child on your next tax return. Learn more at nebraskachildcaretaxcredit.org. Brought to you by First 5 Nebraska and Nebraska Children and Families Foundation and aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
There's only one place this holiday season to shop for the sports fan in your life and get cash back for slightly used sports items you don't need anymore. Play It Again Sports. Check out their selection of new and used items, including home fitness equipment like treadmills, exercise bikes, and ellipticals. And get your lift with free weights, benches, and racks to add to your home gym. And don't forget, if you have anything slightly used to trade in, they'll give you instant cash. Holiday shopping starts and ends at Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe. This is the Adam Carriker Show.
Position right of the quarterback, out of the shotgun, 1st and 20. Jailbreak screen in the air. It is tipped. It is intercepted by Carriker at the Missouri 21-yard line.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, 8-year NFL vet and All-American defensive lineman Adam Carriker.
Shotgun snap to Everett. He's got the left arm going, and now he's got a whole lot of Adam Carriker who rips him down inside the 25-yard line.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Adam Carriker.
Welcome to the Carriker Chronicles, the People Show. Checking the pulse. Rescue Nation brought to you by DPS Concrete Construction. They are your local concrete experts. Check them out at dpsconstruction.net. Also, CarrikerChronicles.com. Ladies and gentlemen, it's where all your Husker sports hopes and dreams will come true. It's just a science. All right. First of all, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy New Year, whatever it is that you celebrate, merry and happy that. to you. Now, if you're like me and you just want to see Nebraska get a frickin' bowl victory over Boston College, I do believe this bowl game matters. I believe it has merit. I'm going to talk about that here in a second. Keys to the bowl game, breaking down the bowl game. Also, new transfer portal commits. We're going to get you up to speed on my thoughts on those and what Nebraska still needs going forward. Also, there's a potential brewing scandal out in North Carolina college football already. We'll get to that as well. But if you're like me and you just want to see Nebraska get a bowl victory and finish the season with a winning record, 7-6, get that win over Boston College, to smash the like button. Also, if you believe, like me, the bowl game matters, when we're building towards the future, we're getting practice reps, getting that winning season, getting the momentum built into the off season. If you haven't done so yet, smash also that subscribe and notification bell button. Also, this would put Nebraska to 27-27 if we get this win, 500 all-time bowl record. Again, we're going to talk transfer portal at the end of this show, plus a couple of other interesting things, so stay tuned. But right off the top, the matchup between Nebraska and Boston College and the Bad Boy Mowers, I can't say that, Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl, I can't say it without chuckling, is the first between the two schools. Boston College is the 32nd different school that Nebraska's played in a bowl game. All right, the 2024 Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl is Nebraska's second bowl game in New York City. You may have known, but if you didn't, the Huskers' first ever bowl game was a 36-34 victory over good old Miami. We did play them in cold weather at one point in the 1962 Gotham Bowl, played in the old Yankee Stadium. Coach Bob Devaney's first Nebraska team, all right, won a game in frigid cold temperatures and a crowd of just over 6,000 people on that particular day. Now, Nebraska played its first ever bowl game. Do any of you know? I actually had to look this up. I thought it was interesting. Nebraska played the first of its 54 bowl games in the 1941 Rose Bowl when number 7 Nebraska lost to number 2 Stanford 21-13. So it was about 21 years later when Nebraska got its first bowl victory, and that was actually Nebraska's third bowl game, was the Gotham Bowl. Nebraska's Pinstripe Bowl opponent, Boston College, has been selected to a bowl game for the 31st time in their school's history. The Eagles have a 15-13 record in bowl games with 2 cancellations as well. All right, now Nebraska is actually no stranger to playing in Major League Baseball stadiums. All right, they have an 8-1 record in the 9 games played at Major League Baseball stadiums, including a 2-0 record in New York City and a 4-1 mark in bowl games. 5 of the Huskers' 9 games at Major League Baseball stadiums have been bowl games: the 1962 Gotham Bowl, all right, 1976 Astros Blue Bonnet Bowl in Houston, 1996 and 98 Orange Bowl in Miami, and the 1998 Holiday Bowl played in San Diego. You may have not known this, but if you didn't, or if you did, Matt Rule, Bill O'Brien, one of only 5 coaches in college football who had the distinction of also being head coaches in the NFL at one point as well. You've got Lane Kiffin. He's got that Nebraska tie, but maybe just stay off X. I don't know. At Ole Miss, Jim Mora, who's now at UConn, and Greg Schiano, former Giants coach, up at Rutgers. All right, now I thought this was cool. Student athlete. That term has almost been like completely erased from most people's vocabulary, but I thought this was cool, and I wanted to point it out. Nebraska leads, all right, the Big Ten Conference in academic all Big Ten picks with 71 academic all Big Ten selections in 2024. Again, the most in the Big Ten. Their 3.241 team grade point average in the 2024 spring semester is the highest in team history. Now, there's a lot of changes on the defensive side of the ball, but I think a lot of this still applies simply because Ty Robinson, Nash Hutmaker, a lot of these guys have decided to play in the bowl game when bowl games are kind of overlooked at times. So let's talk about some of the things the Blackshirts have done. Well, Nebraska allowed just 20 points in its first 3 games, the fewest through 3 games since allowing 16 points in the first 3 games of the 05 season. I remember that. All right, Nebraska enters the Pinstripe Bowl ranked 18th in the country in scoring defense at 19.8 points per game. We're the only 6-6 team in the top 20 defense nationally. Everyone else is like 8, 9, 10, 11 wins, by the way. All right, Nebraska has held 5 opponents to 10 or fewer points. The 5 opponents held to 10 or fewer points is the most in a season since the 2009 team held 8 of 14 opponents to 10 or fewer points. Nebraska held 5 opponents this season to less than 300 yards of total offense, including limiting Ohio State to a season-low 285 yards after the Buckeyes entered the game averaging better than 500 yards per game. Tennessee couldn't quite match that. Just saying. Go SEC. All right, Nebraska has gone 22 consecutive games without allowing 300 passing yards dating back to last season. This is the longest streak for the Huskers since a 29-game stretch without allowing 300 passing yards during the span of 2008 to 2010. Turnovers are going to be huge. Turnover margin is huge. Okay, we're 5-1 halfway through the season. We have at the first bye week going into Indiana, we have a +6 turnover margin ratio. The rest of the year, we end up -7. We finish the year -1. And you know how the second half of the season went. Now, Nebraska's 51 points off turnovers includes 3 interceptions for touchdowns, 3 pick sixes, and a safety. So turnover margin has been huge. Scoring off turnovers, opponents scoring off our turnovers has been huge as well. You look at the offensive side of the ball, Dylan Raiola is poised to break the Nebraska freshman single-season yardage passing record, needing just 23 yards to surpass Adrian Martinez's record of 2,617 yards as a true freshman in 2018. Raiola and Martinez are the only Huskers to throw for 2,000 yards. As a freshman, Raiola on the season completed 66.6% of his passes and ranked second nationally among freshmen. All right, he was sharp in his first 3 games. He was also sharp in completing more than 70% of his passes in his last 3 games as well, completing 71.3% of his passes against USC, Wisconsin, and Iowa when Holgorsen took the offense over. I'm extremely intrigued to see what this offense can do under Dana Holgorsen. To me, that's a major storyline. He's got more time with them. He's got guys like Barney starting and Lloyd, and now that he's going to have more time with Raiola. What's this offense going to look like in the bowl game? That's one of the things I am the most intrigued to see. You look at Boston College. This bowl game is intriguing to me because we have a lot of the seniors that are going to stay and play. Now, guys that aren't playing, all right, Tommy Hill, Micah Mazuka, Isaiah Neor. Hill is focusing on getting that injured foot healthy. Mazuka playing through a labrum injury, had surgery to fix it. Neor is going to focus on the NFL. So our depth chart does look a little bit different in certain spots, in particular with some of the movement on defense, some of the coaches coming and going, new coaches. We did promote from within with John Butler. With all due respect to Mazuka, Hill, and Neor, I don't know that they were gigantic difference makers. And I get excited to see Barney and Lloyd get more opportunities on offense, to be honest with you, to see what they can do. And a lot of the seniors playing, and then you look at Boston College. This is one of the bowl games where you're going to see as close to Nebraska from last year going into next year as you're going to see in any other bowl game. Same thing with Boston College. I looked it up. They only have 7 players, the last time I looked anyways, that went into the transfer portal. 0 of major consequence. Now, their starting quarterback for most of the year went into the portal, but he lost his job in November, wasn't even with the team the last couple of games. So they're going to look how they've looked all year. Nebraska, you're going to get a mix of how we looked with the seniors who've chosen to play in the bowl game, and that doesn't always happen, and what we're going to look like next year. So it's an intriguing mix for Nebraska. You're going to get consistency, what you saw all year out of Boston College. And so for me, this is a bowl game that's going to be as close to what these teams have looked like, what they're going to look like in the future as any other bowl game, because a lot of other bowl games, it's just like a bunch. And we do have a lot of freshmen and sophomore on the depth chart. We do have a lot of them. We are young, but at the same time, it's very intriguing to me. You look at Boston College, they kind of have a running back by committee. They really have 3 top running backs. Nobody averages more than 60 yards rushing per game. Their leading back, Rabba Chow, had 10 touchdowns on the season. Even their receivers. All right, it's kind of a receiver by committee. Lewis Bond was their leading receiver, 49 yards per game, but their 3rd leading receiver yardage-wise was their leading receiver touchdown-wise. Okay, Kamari Morales had 6 touchdowns on the year. So it's a little bit running back by committee, receiver by committee. There's no just like one incredible standout, so to speak. Grayson James, who's going to be starting at quarterback. He completed 64% of his passes in the games that he did start. 901 passing yards on the season, 180 yards per game, 6 touchdowns. Now, here are some of the stats that stood out to me. Passing offense, they're not great. They're dead last in the ACC at 190 yards per game. Scoring offense, they average 29 points per game. We average 24 points per game, or 23.8. Rushing defense, they're actually much more stout. All right, they're 22nd in the country. Passing defense, they're not great. They struggle to pass the ball. They struggle to stop the pass. They're 110th in the country in passing defense. So again, what can this Dana Holgorsen passing attack do? I'm excited to see. Scoring defense, they allow 24 points per game. Again, we allow 19.8. Red zone offense, I'm going to be honest, neither team is good. All right, they rank 17th in the ACC, second to last. And we rank they rank 17th in the ACC. We rank 17th in the Big Ten. They score 74.5% of the time. We score 75.5% of the time. So who can capitalize on red zone scores will be big. Net punting, again, neither team is great. They're 17th in the ACC. We're 17th in the Big Ten. Punt return defense, they're actually first in the ACC, so I wouldn't expect a whole lot of return yardage in this game from either team. Turnover margin, this is going to be huge. All right, nationally, they're 20th in the country. When it comes to turnover margin, we're 69th, as I mentioned earlier. Here are my keys to the game. Who wants to be here more? It's the same old song and dance that you've heard for years when it comes to a bowl game. All right, we stormed the field after we beat Wisconsin to get to 6 wins and go to a bowl game. Now, I've heard people wondering how much they even want to go to New York, how important the bowl game is. I do feel that it's important. I do feel that it matters, legitimately. Okay, but who wants to be there? Now, the Huskers started hot, as I mentioned. The first half of the season struggled a little bit down the stretch versus Boston College. Most people believe that Bill O'Brien over-delivered with this team, if I'm being honest with you. Now, we haven't been to a bowl game since 2016. So if you don't want to play in this game, then, in my opinion, you just don't love ball, and you're motivated by the wrong reasons to play football. Things other than football itself. All right, to me, this is a game that some people might find it hard to get motivated for, but if you love ball, guys like Robinson, Hutmaker, etc., you're going to be excited to play in this game for reasons that are pretty obvious, in my opinion. Now, it's been a while, but John Butler, if you remember, was Bill O'Brien's defensive coordinator at Penn State. I bet he'll have a thing or two for his old boss in this bowl game. It's been a while, but I'm curious to see how that plays out. And I do think this is a big prove-it game for John Butler in the fans' eyes anyways. Okay, and the seniors that are playing, like whether it's Ben Hart, whether it's Robinson, Hutmaker, other guys, Ben Scott at the center position, all right, that sends a huge message of leadership, and this game matters, and I think we're going to get more out of our players because of that message and that leadership of them playing in the game. Again, I thought this was pretty cool as well. Matt Rule is paying for seniors from last year's team to go to this bowl game. Ladies and gentlemen, New York is expensive. Kudos to Matt Rule. All right, let's see what we got next here. And I know some fans are going to be like, oh, some of the guys I mentioned, they didn't play well this year. Well, imagine if they didn't play. We don't exactly have phenomenal depth at certain positions. So I'm glad to see that they're playing. It increases our chances absolutely 100. I don't want to say 100%, but it increases our chances a lot of winning the bowl game itself. Number 2. There's a lot of new on the defensive side of the ball specifically, but a lot of new with Nebraska, along with the seniors that are playing. Like I said, it's an interesting mix. Now, again, we promoted our defensive coordinator from within, but we've got a new defensive coordinator, some new coaches, etc. How well does Nebraska handle the new? Because Boston College has more consistency across their front when it comes to their players and coaches. Are we actually better off? I proposed this in a previous video. Are we actually better off with some of the new and some of the changes that maybe we were surprised by at that point in time, but we'll see. All right, are we actually better off when it comes to certain new blood in certain spots, and how much better will our offense be now that Dana Holgorsen has had more time with the team, more time with the offense, more time with the players? And this is a great opportunity to get a brief look at the future with some young, talented guys getting some, in my opinion, well-deserved opportunities. From Barney to Lloyd to now Emmett's going to be the guy, and it's no short list, okay? And Holgorsen said when he talked about Boston College's front seven, he likened them to Iowa. He said they're experienced, they're deep, and they've been around for a while, veterans, so to speak. And my third key to the game, all right, turnover margin. If we win the turnover margin, we're more talented and athletic than Boston College. If we lose the turnover margin, as I mentioned, they have much more consistency across when it comes to their players, when it comes to their coaches than we do right now at this moment. And we need to avoid that, uh-oh, here we go again type moment on our end. And a lot of that will be due to winning the turnover battle. All right, here's my prediction. As we sit here right now, the Huskers are a 2.5-point favorite over Boston College. The over-under is 45.5 total points. So I'm going to take Boston College 21, Nebraska, pause for effect, 24. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to give a shout out to our sponsors, DPS Concrete Construction. I mentioned before, I've said it before, I'll say it again because it is 100% factually accurate and true. DPS Concrete Construction, they are your local retaining wall experts, concrete experts. Especially if you're in the Omaha metro area, check them out at dpsconstruction.net. And even if you're not, they can go far to do work. Also, If this is the type of work you do, Jason Armstrong is the type of guy you want to work for. Go to dpsconstruction.net if you want to work for a great boss, as well as bonzelpool.com. That's bonzelpool.com. This is the time to get on the list to have a hot tub put in, a sauna put in, a obviously pool put in, and or have these things taken care of. Pools, hot tubs, saunas. These are the folks to get it done. Check them out at bonzelpool.com. If you go into the store, ask for Jeff. He's the owner, Jeff Bonzel, and tell him Adam sent you his way. bonzelpool.com. Now let's talk about some recent transfer portal news and get up to speed on that. There's 9 current transfer portal commits, 5 on defense, 2 on offense, 2 on special teams, 1 former 5-star, 3 former 4-star, 6 underclassmen, 4 that are currently freshmen, 3 players that were former all-conference type players of some sort. Now the question is, will they actually help Nebraska like some transfers have, or not so much like some transfers have not? Now the last 3 recent transfers, okay? Linebacker / safety, Dason McCullough from Oklahoma. He originally committed to play for Indiana and went to the Hoosiers out of high school as a top high school recruit out of the Kansas City area. All right, his dad played running back in the NFL. His grandfather coached running backs in the NFL. He was actually recruited by some schools as a running back and a DB type player. He was the highest rated commit Indiana's ever had, and as a true freshman there for the Hoosiers, he was honorable mention all Big Ten. Now this last year at Oklahoma, he missed 5 games due to injury, played in 7 games and had 1 start. Now, what will he play at Nebraska? Will he play a jack type position here in this 3-3-5 with Patrick Payton committing to LSU? Does he become an edge rusher, which he had some success at early on in his career? I wonder if that's where they try to put him. Now, will he be a safety type role? It's unclear as of yet, but he has the type of ability to move around and utilize his flexibility within this hybrid 3-3 type scheme. Former Georgia safety Justin Rhett, 6 foot, 183 pounds, former 4-star, and I'm just going to say he's got a ton of talent. He does. He got buried on Georgia's depth chart, and can he make his way to the top of our depth chart? Earn it sooner rather than later, make an impact maybe this upcoming season sooner rather than later. This is a talented, unproven guy that could potentially help us as soon as next year, potentially. All right, former 4-star quarterback from Purdue, Marcos Davila, 6'3", 235 pounds, from Midland, Texas, which just seems to pipe out highly recruited quarterbacks. All right, Cade Klubnik, Quinn Ewers, they just met in the college football playoff. They also met in the state championship game, 6A state title game in Texas a while back. So it was a homecoming for Clemson quarterback Cade Klubnik when he came to play in Austin. All right, now he has 4 years of eligibility left, former top 20 quarterback in the country. Now he had solid depth. Him and freshman TJ Lateef, who is now on campus and practicing with the team. I'm very happy he's here. I am. I'm a little surprised he came. To me, he's kind of similar. He's got 1 more year of eligibility, but kind of similar to Daniel Kalen in a way. To me, he's kind of similar to Daniel Kalen in a way, a talented quarterback. All right, coming here, he's going to play a backup type role to Dylan Raiola. I can't help but wonder as well. Obviously, we needed depth. I'm happy he's here. He's a great piece, especially if Dylan gets banged up. I can't help but wonder because teams are going to come and try to get Dylan again. It's just going to happen. They're going to try to poach him. And Dylan's shown he's nothing but all in. He's shown, that's what he's shown. I've talked about it here on this show. But if that ever changes, Marcos has a bright future and he's a great insurance plan, and I say that with all due respect. What does Nebraska still need in the transfer portal? And Ruler of Husker Nation on X likes what Nebraska has done, but he is concerned with offensive line. Says we need at least 2 offensive linemen. I'll be honest with you, I agree. We need an interior offensive lineman. We need at least an offensive tackle. All right, another linebacker potentially on defense, more depth on defense, just kind of in general. I don't want to be greedy. Another wide receiver would be great. I know we just brought in Hunter, and he was Cal's best receiver, and we got Barney, and we got Lloyd. Another wide receiver would be great. Maybe that's getting a little bit greedy. I will say this running back, and I know Quentin Ives has looked great through bowl practices so far. We got 2 talented freshmen coming in, but it would be nice to have a great 1-2 punch with Emmett Johnson and another more proven type back, at least for this next season. That's what pops into my head. All right, real quick. Here are some things to put on the screen. There is a brewing controversy in North Carolina football. Have you heard? All right, North Carolina's new head coach, Bill Belichick, is sleeping with the new defensive coordinator's mom. All right, let's put it up on the screen. UNC has hired Washington defensive coordinator as their new DC, Steve Belichick, Bill Belichick's son. The drama, ladies and gentlemen. All right, next up, the Kansas City Chiefs have won 16 straight one-score games. Can we get the refs on our side? That'd be great. If we did that, we would have won back-to-back national titles. 8 of 9 opponents played Ohio State tougher than Tennessee did when they lost 42. Wasn't it 17 the final score? I could be wrong. 42-10. I went to bed. I quit watching. All right, Michigan State, Iowa, Oregon, Nebraska, Penn State, Northwestern, Indiana, Michigan. All played Ohio State tougher than Tennessee, which leads me to this next tweet from Rob Zadiska. The average Big Ten team wouldn't be able to withstand the rigors of an SEC schedule, said the ESPN SEC network. I hope you picked up on all that. All right. Looking ahead to the next round of the college football playoff games, 2 of them look phenomenal. Like, they really do. You look at Ohio State, Oregon, and the Rose Bowl. I'm going to go with Ohio State right now with about 1% confidence. What a great game that's going to be. Notre Dame and Georgia. Georgia with a backup quarterback. All right, starter Carson Beck tore his UCL, basically the ACL of the elbow. I tore the same thing in high school, which is why I'm not pitching anymore, but I digress. I'm going to take Georgia, but that's going to be a great game. Arizona State, I hope they just don't get ran off the field. And I'm half tempted to take Boise State over Penn State. I just am. I haven't decided yet. All right, here's one final thought. Rumor has it when Ricky Henderson played for the Mariners, who just passed away, rest in peace to a legend, in 2000, he noticed first baseman John Olerud wore a helmet while playing in the infield instead of a cap. Ricky told him, I played with the guy in the Mets last year that did that too. Olerud replied, that was me, Ricky. We were teammates on the Mets last year. Rest in peace to Ricky Henderson. All right, as always, check out the Carriker Chronicles website. Football, basketball, baseball, softball, the like. We got your Husker sports hopes and dreams covered, carrikerchronicles.com. Here are my 3 questions for you fine folks at home. Let me know your answer in the comments below. Number 1, what's your score prediction for Nebraska versus Boston College? Number 2, all right, what do you think is the biggest position of need we still have left in the transfer portal? And last, but certainly not least, should the SEC have gotten more teams in the college football playoff? Until next time, go Big Red Nose. Remember to throw the bones.
Are you looking for affordable drinks and a great atmosphere this football season? Highball Bar has you covered. Whether it's pregame tailgating, postgame festivities, or in-game celebrations, Highball Bar is the place to be. With $4 beers, $4 mixed drinks, and more during their 4 to 8 p.m. daily happy hour, Highball Bar will quickly become your go-to place to sit back, unwind, and be your team's #1 fan. Highball Bar, located in downtown Lincoln, just 3 blocks from Memorial Stadium at 122 North 11th Street.
League One Volleyball is bringing the action to Omaha with Omaha's first serve on January 24th at 7 p.m. Central Time at the Liberty First Credit Union Arena. Witness history in the making as Love Omaha Volleyball takes on Love Madison in the team's inaugural home match. Be there to watch Olympic teammates Jordan Larson and Lauren Carlini go head-to-head in a battle of the world's best. Visit lovboma.com for tickets starting at $31. Volleyball is the next major league.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock with A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, we would be grateful for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. We have ASE master technicians and qualified to work on a variety of vehicles from Hondas to Porsches, Jaguars to Toyotas, and Chevrolets to Fords. We pride ourselves on customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Step into healing at Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery. Our team of top-notch medical professionals turns pain into progress with state-of-the-art treatments and compassionate care. Visit prairieortho.com and discover the difference in quality orthopedic and plastic surgery services tailored to your unique needs. Your health matters, and Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery is dedicated to helping you thrive. Reach your full potential. Embrace a better tomorrow with Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery.
Nebraska is in their first bowl game since 2016, and 93.7 The Ticket is on the scene. Join me, Nick Sainert, Jake Sorensen, and Adam Carriker for coverage from New York City for the Pinstripe Bowl at Yankee Stadium. We'll have videos of festivities on Friday with commentary and videos from pregame, during the game, and postgame on Saturday as Nebraska takes on Boston College at 11 a.m. Central Time. Coverage from the Pinstripe Bowl is sponsored by J-Tech Construction and Solar, High Electric, Lincoln Industries, and A1 Automotive. If you're sick of catering from the same places every month, it's time to switch things up. Mulberry Barbecue is perfect for business lunches and dinners, family gatherings, holiday parties, wedding receptions, rehearsal dinners, and so much more. Delivery and full-service options are available, and they can cater for anything from 10 people to 500 people. Call them at 402-937-7114 to look at their menu options and get your catering booked today. Mulberry Barbecue, located at 11th and Cornhusker Highway.
Hey guys, it's Nick. You know how much I love beer, and this game day, show your Husker pride with Dear Old Nebraska Brew, the official beer of the Nebraska Alumni Association. Brewed by Nebraska fans, for Nebraska fans, Dear Old Nebraska Brew is your go-to for every kickoff, touchdown, and celebration. Whether it's tailgating, watching the game at home, or gathering with friends, this beer is there to bring that perfect game day refreshment. Dear Old Nebraska Brew embodies the spirit of Nebraska with every sip. So crack one open and let the good times roll. Dear Old Nebraska Brew, the official beer of Nebraska alumni. Please drink responsibly.
Automotive Solutions is Lincoln's one-stop shop for all your vehicle needs, from vinyl wraps to engine repair and maintenance. Automotive Solution offers fleet services as well as printing and graphic design for vinyl applications, plus installation of vinyl for boats, trucks, cars, and anything else you want wrapped. Perfection is their standard, and they never settle for less. Call today at 531-249-5600 or go to automotivesolutionslincoln.com to learn more. That's Automotive Solutions, 2040 Southwest 5th Street in Lincoln.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com. Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting lincolnteammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Wrestling fans, it's time to elevate your game, just like Stevens & Smith Construction does for your concrete needs. As your full-service concrete contractor, we deliver solid results every time. From singles to doubles, fighting for inside position to scrambling reversals, we know how to pin down quality and slam expectations. Stevens & Smith Construction, a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket, where Husker wrestlers bring you all the action. Don't stall, Stevens & Smith Construction is here to help you build a concrete foundation for the win. Check us out at www.stevensandsmith.com because stalling is a penalty and winning is the only option.
Everyone should have a collection of something. For some, it's stamps or coins, expensive cars, or even watches. But for a lot of people, it's sports cards. And there's no better way to grow your collection than with the help of Capital City Sports Cards, Lincoln's first and only collector-first sports cards and memorabilia shop. Capital City Sports Cards connects collectors of all ages and demographics with unique collectibles sure to bring any collection to life, no matter the budget. Visit Capital City Sports Cards near 56th and Old Cheney or through their eBay storefront. Capital City Sports Cards, Lincoln's premier sports card and memorabilia store.
Raising little ones is a big job, and you do your best to give them a good start every day. That means making sure they're well cared for while you're apart. You work hard, but it's not always easy to make ends meet. There may be help. Find out if you qualify for Nebraska's Child Care Tax Credit for working parents. You could be eligible for a credit of up to $2,000 per child on your next tax return. Learn more at nebraskachildcaretaxcredit.org. Brought to you by First 5 Nebraska and Nebraska Children and Families Foundation and aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome to the Carriker Chronicles, the People Show, checking the pulse of a jolly Husker Nation. Merry Christmas, ladies and gentlemen. This is my gut reaction to Dane Key committing to play for the University of Nebraska in football. I've probably been talking about this one potential transfer portal commit longer than anybody. I have been talking about him longer than anybody else. But ladies and gentlemen, Merry Christmas. And if you're like me, we now have Kentucky's top wide receiver in our wide receiver room, Cal's top wide receiver, okay, Isaiah Hunter, in our wide receiver room. He led Cal in 3 different receiving categories. We have our top wide receiver, with all due respect to Banks and Naor from a year ago, but Ja'Cory Barney coming back for our wide receiver room next year. If you're excited about the young talent, also, let's not forget Jalen Lloyd. Let's not forget Cortez Mills that's coming in. Rules already talked about him potentially playing earlier, hoping he's got that mindset. Then you got guys like Carter Nelson, Heinrich Harburg, who are like Swiss Army knives in this potential offense. If you're excited about all this, and smash the like button. Also, if you just want to say Merry Christmas, smash the like button too if you'd like. Also, subscribe, ring that notification bell if you haven't done so as well. You never know when a show's going to drop. Like, it's Christmas Eve. Christmas is tomorrow. Let's light this candle. Like I mentioned before, we got 2 of the top 10 transfer portal wide receivers now ready to play here at the University of Nebraska. And Isaiah Hunter from Cal was, I believe, number 9 or 10 when it came to highly ranked transfer portal wide receivers. Dane Key was number 4, depending on where you looked, a top 5 wide receiver in the transfer portal as well. In case you didn't know, he was actually in high school named the best high school football player in the state of Kentucky, which doesn't always happen, that it's a wide receiver to basically be named Mr. Football in the state for whatever state that they're playing for. The last wide receiver to do that in Kentucky was a guy you might recognize, Mr. Wandale Robinson. Now, Dane Key, him specifically, all right, he's going to bring a veteran leadership to a very young, very talented wide receiver room. A season ago, he had 47 catches, 715 yards. He's 6'3", 210 pounds, and this is what stood out to me the most. 15.2 yards per reception is what he averaged. Nebraska as a team, as a whole, averaged 10 yards per reception in 2024. We really struggled to get separation, especially man-to-man coverage, and we struggled to get a lot of deep balls downfield. This is something the Key can help us with. Now, you got to keep in mind, Kentucky was 4-8 a year ago, 1-7 in conference. Okay, they had the 14th ranked passing offense in the SEC. The only 2 teams that were behind them were Vanderbilt in passing offense, were Vanderbilt and Oklahoma, Alabama's worst nightmare, by the way. But they had some real quarterback issues at Kentucky, which is why their top 2 wide receivers left and their top tight end as well. Now, I don't think we've seen Key's ceiling yet, but I do think we've seen his floor. Because when you come to Nebraska, you get a quarterback upgrade, you get an OC upgrade, you got other talent around you. Teams can't key on you, no pun intended. I think we've seen his floor at Kentucky, but we haven't seen his ceiling just yet. Just how high that ceiling is, I don't know. We're going to find out together. Now, his girlfriend is at Georgia. And when I heard that, I was like, oh, girlfriend at Georgia trumps former wide receivers coach at Kentucky, but from Kentucky at Nebraska. But a lot of this is due to NIL. And let's not kid ourselves. Players want to go play for teams that win. Until we're winning more than 4, 5, 6 games a year, it's going to be harder to attract guys. So right now, it's the brand, it's the coaches that are recruiting them, it's the NIL. When we start winning more games, that's going to help us, because regardless of what anyone else says, 1A is probably money with most players, but 1B is winning games. So winning more games will help Nebraska get more guys like this to come. All right. When you start to look at our skill position players this upcoming season, which is weird because this past season has not ended yet. We got a bowl game on Saturday. Check out my prediction show. And this is John Butler's Prove It game going into the offseason and next year, in my opinion. If you haven't seen that show, go back and check it out. I put it out just yesterday. But you look at the offensive skill positions. You got Dylan Raiola. Okay, you got Emmett Johnson at running back. You got the 3 receivers and the other Swiss Army knife type players that I've already talked about in this show. It's hard not to get excited about the skill position players. Now, I'd still think I'd love one more proven type running back. I don't think it's absolutely necessary, but I do think it'd be huge to have a 1-2 punch with Emmett and somebody else who's got experience, a little bit more proven, although we have some young, talented running backs in that room still. But we've got to get linemen. Dana Holgerson said it. I mean, it's not rocket science. We need linemen. We need another offensive tackle. We need an interior lineman. Now, Justin Evans-Jenkins, he can go to center, he can play guard, so we need an offensive tackle, and we need an interior lineman, whether it's a center, whether it's a guard, whatever the case may be. I don't even think that that's really negotiable, in my humble opinion. Like, we need those things. But when it comes to Nebraska's skill position players, it's hard not to get excited. I'm going to give a shout out to our sponsors, DPS Concrete Construction. All right, they are your local concrete experts, ladies and gentlemen. They do a phenomenal job. When it comes to concrete work, when it comes to retaining wall work, there is nobody better. Check them out at dpsconstruction.net if this is the type of work you do. Jason Armstrong has told me, the owner of DPS, he's looking for good employees. You can't have too many good employees and good workers. If this is the type of work you do, go to dpsconstruction.net, ask for Jason Armstrong if this is the type of work you want done, dpsconstruction.net. Also, Allen Capital Group, all right? They've done my family's finances for over a decade. And I had an original financial planner. It was hard. It's hard when you don't trust somebody, when you don't know somebody. I let them go, and I brought on these guys, and I've never looked back since. I can trust them because they're great at what they do. They're intelligent. They've got great, phenomenal integrity. You can trust these guys. They're going to do a good job, and gals. The entire company, Allen Capital Group, they have offices in Ogallala, Grand Island, and Omaha. Check them out at allencapgroup.com. That's ALLENCAP group.com. Allen Capital Group, next level solutions for next level needs. I couldn't have done that if I'd have tried. Now, let's not forget, when you look at the rest of the offense and guys that we brought in, quarterback Marcos Davila from Purdue, a highly talented freshman quarterback with a bright future. So we've got a quarterback with experience in Raiola. We've got depth at quarterback now with Davila, and Latif is practicing with the team right now. So we got a 1, 2, 3 in that quarterback room, however 2 and 3 pan out. And then you've got multiple proven wide receivers. You've got young, talented guys at skill positions. You've got Swiss Army knives. Fedoni at tight end. He's got a ton of experience. And we just need some O-linemen up front. And there's a lot to be excited about with this Nebraska offense. All right, let's talk about a couple other things. Now, it's a gut reaction. We want to get this out quick. We're trying to get to church. We're trying to do family presents. So instead of my wife putting them up on the screen, I'm just going to hold these things up for you to see. All right. So, Nebraska basketball beat Hawaii 69-55 last night. Shout out to Bryce Williams and Jawan Gary. Hawaii's whole team had 55 points. Those two players combined, Williams and Gary, had 53 to advance to the Diamond Head Classic title game, which they're going to play 7:30 p.m. Central Time on Christmas, December 25th versus Oregon State. Oh, I should mention, we've had 5 players, all right, recently that have committed from the Kansas City area. And that Kansas City pipeline is being built when it comes to football. All right, a couple other things. Real quick, Connor Essegian this year is shooting 49% from the field, 44% from three-point range, 82% from the free throw line. All right, this was tweeted out by Kevin Schutz. Nebraska volleyball finishes 4th in the final polls. Personally, I think they're number 2 behind Penn State. Whatever the case may be, if you want to put Louisville number 2, whatever. They're finished top 4. Congratulations on a great season. A Final Four appearance should never be taken for granted. All right, what do we got next here? Shout out to Vincent Shavers, sporting that black shirt. All right, right there. I think I'm pointing to the right thing. Sporting that black shirt. Congratulations. I remember my first black shirt that I earned. And actually, I've got daughters that are going to be wearing my old jerseys. If you're at the Bad Boys Pinstripe Bowl, I can never, Bad Boy Moore's Pinstripe Bowl. I can't say that bowl game without chuckling. They're going to be wearing some of my black shirts and my old jerseys. So you might see them running around wearing those outside their coats. And Deion Sanders, Colorado will provide disability insurance for those players playing in the Alamo Bowl. You want more players to play in bowl games? You need to find a way to incentivize them. They should frankly sign contracts and be fined if they don't show up, but also disability insurance in case you get hurt. There's ways to make bowl games matter or college football matter without the insanity that we have in general. Oh, Kurt Signetti, Mr. We beat the S out of top 25 teams. I got 2 daughters sitting right over there that'll come join us at the end. Indiana versus ranked teams this year. Outscored 32 and 65, 0-2. Indiana versus non-ranked opponents this year. Outscored their opponents 505 to 138, and they were 11-0. And their best win was actually against a just over 500 Michigan team. I'm going to give my college football predictions here shortly for round 2, my final ones. I kind of gave a preview in my previous show. These are my final ones, but Ohio State has played 3 top 10 teams in 7 games since the Oregon game. They haven't given up a single passing touchdown since the Oregon game on October 12th. And they're about to play the top quarterback in the country, in my opinion, at least collegiately, in Dylan Gabriel. So there's that right there. That was obviously a Buckeyes outlet. Oh, poor Bevo's not going to be allowed on the sidelines for the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, just like he wasn't inside that same place in Atlanta, Georgia. when they played Georgia in the SEC title game. He's not going to be allowed on the sidelines for when they play Arizona State. The Peach Bowl put out this big long thing, basically gag me use mascot will not be allowed there. This is Oregon just released their Rose Bowl uniforms. I might have to pick Oregon now. Kirk Herbstreit and Shannon Sharp are going at each other. Well, Shannon Sharp's going at Kirk. Basically, Kirk called out Shannon, who's not necessarily a college football expert, for talking about Ryan Day potentially being fired and Deion's going to be the next coach, and him and Stephen A. Smith did it. And then Kirk basically said, no, I've talked to the brass at Ohio State. You know, he was a former quarterback and team captain there. He's got probably the biggest voice in college football, or one of them. He's like, no, they don't want to get rid of Ryan Day. Shannon Sharp went off if you didn't see this. He basically said, don't play with me. Kirk, Chris Fowler, I promise you, if you ever mention my name on any platform I'm on again talking about, I wonder what they're going to say, talking about First Take. That's what Kirk had to say as negativity. I promise you, ESPN ain't got enough bosses to keep me off y'all for that. And what I'm going to say, don't play with me. This is some interesting drama at the ESPN SEC network, ladies and gentlemen. All right, I think that about wraps everything up. So Andrew Marshall, the DB from Idaho, has not committed to Nebraska yet. He has been crystal balled to commit. We'll keep our eye on that. All right, my official predictions for the round 2 of the college football playoff games, the Sugar Bowl. Now, 3 of these 4 games, the lower seeded team, because we seeded this improperly, are actually favored. Now, I've seen Notre Dame favored. I've seen Georgia favored. The last one I looked at said Georgia was favored by 1.5. Initially, it was Georgia 1.5. Notre Dame, I spoke wrong the other day. I got Notre Dame over Georgia. Ohio State's a 2.5-point favorite over Oregon. I got Ohio State. I think having that bye week is phenomenal, except now you've got 4 to 5 weeks off, whereas Ohio State's already played in the college football playoff game and now they're rolling. I think that's an advantage Ohio State. The bye week may not be as helpful as you think. I've got Ohio State. All right, gag me you. They're going to thump Arizona State. They're a 13.5-point favorite. Fiesta Bowl. Boise State is a 10.5-point dog to Penn State. The Fightin' Eric Chenanders. I'm calling for the upset. I've got the Fightin' Eric Chenanders. Shout out to my guy. Boise, he's just good to me. Boise State over Penn State. And we already know that Oregon and Ohio State are better than Penn State anyways. All right, as always, check out CarrikerChronicles.com. It's where all your Husker sports hopes and dreams will come true. We got basketball updates. We had volleyball updates. We got the bowl game updates, preview, prediction, reaction. CarrikerChronicles.com. And again, Nebraska basketball 9-2. As you know, beat Creighton by 11 points in their house earlier this year. Going to play Oregon State Christmas night for the championship in that tournament. Here are my 3 questions for you fine folks at home. Number 1, on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you for Nebraska's skill position players, all right, that we now have going into next season, and especially with Dana Holgorsen calling the plays? Number 2, will Nebraska men's basketball make the NCAA tournament again this year? Number 3, Nebraska women's basketball has been ranked most of the season. They're currently 10-2. Their next 2 games are number 1 UCLA, number 4 USC, because they're Big Ten teams now. Will they beat at least one of those teams? At least one. Let me know. Go Big Red, and always remember to throw the bones.
Hey guys, it's Nick. You know how much I love beer, and this game day, show your Husker pride with Dear Old Nebraska Brew, the official beer of the Nebraska Alumni Association. Brewed by Nebraska fans, for Nebraska fans, Dear Old Nebraska Brew is your go-to for every kickoff, touchdown, and celebration. Whether it's tailgating, watching the game at home, or gathering with friends, this beer is there to bring that perfect game day refreshment. Dear Old Nebraska Brew embodies the spirit of Nebraska with every sip. So crack one open and let the good times roll. Dear Old Nebraska Brew, the official beer of Nebraska alumni. Please drink responsibly.
The McKinney's Irish Pub in the Haymarket is your place for English Premier League soccer. On Sunday, Man City plays Leicester City at 8:30 a.m., followed by Fulham playing Bournemouth at 9 a.m. On Monday, Ipswich Town will take on Chelsea at 1:45 p.m. Then to cap off the Monday action, Man United will play Newcastle at 2 p.m. You can catch all these matches and more at the McKinney's Irish Pub, your headquarters in Lincoln for English Premier League soccer at 8 p.m.
Nebraska's Christmas Light Show is back and bigger than ever. The Magical Lights of Lincoln Christmas Show runs from Black Friday through New Year's Eve at Sandhills Global Event Center. Bring the family for a show they'll never forget, featuring over 1.5 million lights. Cost is $25 per vehicle from Monday through Thursday, $30 on Friday and Saturday, and also $30 on Christmas Eve and Day. Purchase your tickets online today at ChristmasLightsInLincoln.com and get ready to experience a drive-through light show like you've never seen before.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
Raising little ones is a big job, and you do your best to give them a good start every day. That means making sure they're well cared for while you're apart. You work hard, but it's not always easy to make ends meet. There may be help. Find out if you qualify for Nebraska's Child Care Tax Credit for working parents. You could be eligible for a credit of up to $2,000 per child on your next tax return. Learn more at nebraskachildcaretaxcredit.org. Brought to you by First 5 Nebraska and Nebraska Children and Families Foundation and aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Not many businesses can say they've made it 60 years, but Madsen's Bowling and Billiards can. With 12 bowling lanes and the biggest pool room in Nebraska, where else would you go to enjoy an afternoon or evening? There's a great daily specials like $2 Tuesdays, games of bowling, shoe rentals, draft beers, and tacos, all just $2 each. Have a delicious burger at EJ's Lounge before or after your bowling or pool session, and you'll leave satisfied. Madsen's Bowling and Billiards at 47th and Dudley.
Automotive Solutions is Lincoln's one-stop shop for all your vehicle needs, from vinyl wraps to engine repair and maintenance. Automotive Solution offers fleet services as well as printing and graphic design for vinyl applications, plus installation of vinyl for boats, trucks, cars, and anything else you want wrapped. Perfection is their standard, and they never settle for less. Call today at 531-249-5600 or go to automotivesolutionslincoln.com to learn more. That's Automotive Solutions, 2040 Southwest 5th Street in Lincoln.
Salt Mine City is now open at 8th and R in the Haymarket. Come check out Lincoln's newest brewery with 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager, Brick Street Amber Wheat, and so many more. There's daily drink specials like $1 off Moscow Mules on Tuesdays, $6 IPAs on Fridays, and $6 Bloody Marys on Saturdays. Stop by Tuesday through Thursday from 4 to 9 p.m., Fridays 4 to 11 p.m., Saturdays 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Sundays from noon to 8 p.m. It's Salt Mine City, Lincoln's newest brewery at 8th and R.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Wrestling fans, it's time to elevate your game, just like Stevens & Smith Construction does for your concrete needs. As your full-service concrete contractor, we deliver solid results every time. From singles to doubles, fighting for inside position to scrambling reversals, we know how to pin down quality and slam expectations. Stevens & Smith Construction, a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket, where Husker wrestlers bring you all the action. Don't stall. Stevens & Smith Construction is here to help you build a concrete foundation for the win. Check us out at www.stevensandsmith.com because stalling is a penalty and winning is the only option.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Boom! As Adam Carriker says, I'm Jake Balkovin in studio here at 1040 O Street on 93.7 The Ticket. Wrapping up the Adam Carriker Show today. He's still on a little bit of a vacation break. In fact, that vacation is New York City. He's out there getting ready for the Pinstripe Bowl tomorrow between Nebraska and Boston College. You can bet we're going to talk a lot about that until the game starts. We got the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show tomorrow at 8 o'clock, starting up bright and early in the morning, so 3 hours before kickoff. We'll have all sorts of 93.7 The Ticket personalities and guests join several of them from New York to talk about this game, which got considerably more interesting, at least with the latest headlines. If you're just joining us now, you may not have heard, or maybe you have at this point, that Boston College will be without probably their two best players, at least on each side of the ball, for this upcoming game. It was announced today by Bill O'Brien that team captains and in all ACC selections, Donovan Ezeruku, the defensive end, and their offensive tackle, Ozzie Trapia, will both be sitting out this bowl game. They're both with the team, but just in preparation for the NFL draft. As we see with many players, Nebraska, of course, has one of them themselves with Isaiah Nayor sitting out, preparing for the next step in their career, and maybe not wanting to risk injury for this bowl game. It's as a college football fan over the years, it is sad to see this happen, obviously. But this is kind of what bowl games have become. It's been a while since Nebraska's been to one. So if you just kind of sat under a rock and haven't been paying too much attention, this is what bowl games are now. The top players often sit out. And that's why I think we've got to be very thankful for some of Nebraska's top players that are not doing that. Certainly could be, no one would bat an eye or think twice if Ty Robinson or, Nash Hutmucker decided to sit out this game and prepare for the NFL draft. But to have those guys next in this game tomorrow will be crucial, especially now that Boston College is without their first team, all ACC offensive tackle. Again, Donovan Ezeruku getting a lot of the headlines, and for good reason, because he had 16.5 sacks. He was the ACC Defensive Player of the Year, led Boston College with 80 tackles this year. So there's a good reason why he is getting a lot of the attention, but it might be just as important for Boston College on the offensive side of the ball to be without their 6'8", 310-pound tackle, who's a second-team ACC performer last year, first-team All-ACC this year, and just so this is kind of late news. You wouldn't have expected. Maybe it would be announced this late. Nebraska and Matt Rule have talked about this game leading up to it before. Have circled Ezeruku as a guy that you game plan for, and anybody that's played him knows that. So we'll see. It's very interesting. And it's something that I know a lot of people know from the Nebraska side. There's a lot on the line, as much as you can for modern day bowl games, right? To go 7-6, to finally have a winning record for the first time since 2016. Boston College actually has a little bit on the line for it themselves. They're trying to get their 8 wins. Their 8-win margin, or their 8-win goal, I suppose, is kind of where Nebraska's 9-win goal that we kind of set as a program, right? But for Boston College, they have not had an 8-win season since 2009. And before that, from 2001 until 2009, they had 8 straight years where they won 8 or more games. Remember back in those days, you had some pretty darn good players, the Luke Kuechly's, the Andre Williams, the Matt Ryans, and BJ Rogers. I mean, they just had a lot of talent in that run for Boston College. Has had some talent here and there since then, but has not been able to get to 8 wins. So that there's a lot on the line for Boston College. So, when we talk about Ty Robinson and Nash, for some of the guys for sticking through it and wanting to play in a bowl game, and this was their goal to get Nebraska there. Again, I think that there's storylines and headlines in and of itself that Ezeruku and Trapia will be out for Boston College, but it does remind you again of just how special it is that Nebraska's got their guys, their seniors that have fought through to get this program back to a bowl game, are going to be playing. And again, I know it's not the Orange Bowl, I know it's not the college football playoffs, but it is a bowl game for Nebraska, and we talk all about this, the culture at Nebraska and trying to get it into the winning side again, get a winning culture going. And I've always say this, and it's is that Nebraska's had a losing culture for 8 years, and that's not to say that they're hanging their heads when the games get close or something like that. I'm saying just by definition, you've not had a winning football team in 8 years since 2016. So it is a big deal. I know a lot of people are trying to find a way to frame this game and what does it mean. And certainly with late opt-outs like this, it's like, okay, this game's just hard to it's not hard to get excited for. I mean, it's Nebraska football. It's a bowl game. It's the last one we're going to get in a long time. So it's not that it's hard to get excited for. It's just hard to place. Like, is this kind of a send off to this 2024 team? Is this a start, kind of a jump start to the 2025 team? somewhere in the middle with each team now losing guys to the transfer portal or having guys opt out. It's just a weird place to be in college football, but you know what? We love it because we still have football going on. There's bowl games today. Last time I checked, Oklahoma was doubling up Navy at this point, 14-7. Big bowl games later on today. The Holiday Bowl. You got the Las Vegas Bowl. We get into tomorrow. Nebraska, obviously, kicking it off at 11 o'clock. But you've also got the Alamo Bowl. So you're kind of getting some of those brand name bowl games going here in bowl season, and it's great to be here. But it's definitely different than the last time we were. All right, that'll wrap it up for the Adam Carriker Show. We got the locker room coming up next. I'm going to have Austin jump in studio with me as Chancellor is out today. He will be back, by the way, for tomorrow's A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show and the postgame show as Nebraska concludes their season. But he is out today. Again, holiday break. We've got a few guys in, a few guys out. Me and Austin we'll have an hour next on the locker room on 93.7 The Ticket.
If you're sick of catering from the same places every month, it's time to switch things up. Mulberry Barbecue